wait, Ray, you gotta bring it down. You're probably talking way too loud. Your mic is probably overfeeding. But I'm so excited, y'all. Do you know why I'm so excited? I am so excited. Now look, I'm not good at this live thing, so let me let me get in here. Let me check live chat. Okay, there's nobody in the chat as yet. That's all right. Praise Goddess. Okay, so what up, fam? Today we are here and we are doing a live panel discussion on can Black women be free? Can Black women be free? Are we free? Are we free? Are we free? Are we free? Did you know? Ooh, let me turn. Ooh. Do we know what freedom is, y'all? Can we really have freedom? Does that exist for us Black women? Now let me stop. Look, y'all. We are about to get into it today. We are going to talk about can Black women really be free via travel, via van life? Is it possible? Is it really, 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 really possible for us to experience freedom? So today we're going to talk to three fabulous women. We're going to talk to Frankie. Her YouTube channel is The Joy Route, The Joy Route. Then we have Fia from Dat Boondocking Diva. I'm going to let her say it because she'll say it better than me because I'm just messing up her whole tag handle YouTube line. And then we have the fabulous Danette, who will also come in and give you her YouTube and what she does and blah, blah, blah. But these three women van life and internationally travel, okay? They go all over in their van, on airplanes. They get to wherever they have to go. And we have a whole bunch of questions for them so that hopefully if you decide that you want a van life, if you decide this is something what you want to do, then look, we have all, or at least some of the answers here for you, so I'm really excited. Now, I'm RAEdiate. I'm an American singer, dancer, actress, performing artist who lives in Paris. And as some of you may know, I'm actually going to be leaving Paris January 31st. I'm going to be going someplace else for the Caribbean, not even the Caribbean, someplace warm where I can hang out for my birthday. And then after that, every 3 months, I will be moving to a new European country. Why am I moving to a new European country? Because I have a European visa, a professional artist liberal visa. And what I'm going to do is travel all around, experience life as an artist, experience lives of other artists, and really see what life is like, and really see if I can tap into my voice, my happiness, and my freedom absolutely at all times consistently via my artistry, right? So travel can help us do this. Anthony Bourdain, who as they say, Anthony Bourdain, he says he really didn't know who he was until he traveled. Yes? So we're here, y'all. We're in this. Let's see how this goes. We're going to get started. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Is there anything happening in the chat? Okay, there's no live chats as yet. There's no comments. I need to make sure that I stay on top of things because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm so nervous. All right, y'all. So I'm just going to bring it. I see it. Good morning. Okay. Come on, y'all. Now look. Good morning, Katrina. Good morning, Katrina the Maker. Yes. Katrina, do you van life? Katrina, do you want a van life? Katrina, do you have any questions for us? All right, y'all. Let me go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in all the ladies, and we're just going to get started. All right, ladies, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? We about to get started. All right, here we go. I'm going to first bring in Miss Fia.
Hi. Hey. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are we good? Are we good with the sound?
Everybody can hear us. I hope guys if they can hear us, they can hear us. Okay, now I'm gonna add in Miss Frankie.
Cold. What's up?
What's up, y'all? And now we're going to add the wonderful Danette.
I love your energy, man.
Dude. What's going on?
How are you guys?
We are wonderful.
Wonderful.
I'm good. Now, anyone in the chat, if you ever hear anything going crazy with like the sound or anything, just let us know, okay? Because this is my first time. I want to make sure that you guys can hear us. Okay, great. So, ladies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask each of you, and you can just go as you please and just tell me in your own version how did you decide to van life? How did you move into van lifing? How did this happen? Why don't we start with Danette?
Alrighty. So probably my my epiphany was 2020. I had been watching van life videos for a couple of years before that. I was like, huh, I could probably do that and actually get some more travel in, you know, because I was just like feeling like I was stuck at home. 2020 hit. As we know, the world ended and depression ran high. And I was like, okay, I'm done with all this because I was just like, this is too much. So I started buying everything to load up my SUV. The original SUV that I had broke down. I mean, she was like, no, thank you. I'm not in for this. So I had to actually buy another SUV, and I loaded this one up and I'm out.
Wow. Now tell me, so when you say that you had an SUV, so were you living, so you had an SUV that you were thinking about moving into and then it broke down and then you bought another SUV or you bought a van?
Yeah. I bought another SUV because the thing about it is, being so brand new to it, I wanted the option to be able to just pop back into regular life. Now, I have planned to stay in this SUV for at least the first year of my van life. And then if I want to upgrade to a van, then I will do so at that time. But I also watch a lot of overlanding videos, and that's people basically in their SUVs, and they outfit their SUVs to be able to take on any situation, any road situation. And
Now,
so
is there a difference between an SUV and a van in van life, and what are those differences?
SUV is just smaller. Van life, in a van, you just have more room to be able to do things. You probably can even put a whole potty situation in there, but it's just more room in a van. In an SUV, it's just your regular old, you know, mom ride SUV that I've got outfitted to, you know, accommodate me and what I need while I'm out here.
So then, if you mind me asking, jumping really quickly, so then how do you use the bathroom if you're in an SUV and that's something that's smaller than a van?
So during the day, it's pretty easy. You use the restroom any way you would. You know, you're in the grocery store doing your grocery shopping. You go at the grocery store. You know, you can pop into any Starbucks, wherever you are. You go to the restroom like normal. At night, if you need somewhere to go, I have a cup that accommodates me, and I have a place to put that to keep everything sanitary. And I actually use puppy pads so that I don't wet anything, just in case there's an accident.
Okay, we're skipping. Let's go back. So how did you, okay, so where were you living before van life? Were you in a big house? Were you in a small apartment? Were you single? Were you married? Like, I know it was pandemic. What was happening at that time specifically?
So I was living in an apartment. I had been in that apartment for 11 years, and my son and I, we love to go house shopping, but I knew that I could never really afford these houses on my own. So I just was just like, I'm tired of this apartment. I don't want to move into another apartment. So what are my options? Because I really do want to be able to travel more. I don't want to put more money into something that's going to keep me home more, because it's not working. If the world shuts down again, I don't want to be stuck behind these doors anymore, period. So I told my son, who had just graduated LSU in 2020, I said, you need to find an apartment, or you need to figure out what you're going to do, move in with your grandmother. I don't care who you move in with, just make sure you're safe, because I'm about to move into my SUV and I'm about to dip, period.
We're gonna move, because this is some brilliant stuff. I want to get back to you. Because you told your son you need to find a place because I'm about to be out of here.
Yes.
Because it don't matter if you're confined, I will be able to go where I need to go and move to where I need to move, and my SUV is down.
Exactly.
Okay. Frankie, tell us a little bit. How did you start? What were you living in before? Were you married? Were you with a dude? Like, were you with your children? How did you go from where you were before van life to van life?
So I had been an empty nester for probably about 20 years. I was married. I have two sons. They're in their 30s. When I turned 50 years old, I was renting a room. I had been downsized and just decided it was time for something different. So I started watching, I was thinking about going to Chiang Mai. That was my original plan as a digital nomad. I was like, I am going to Chiang Mai. I'm going to Chiang Mai. But anyway, YouTube started showing me these van videos. And I was like, I can do that. Immediately, I knew I can do that. So at the time, I was like maybe 47 or something like that. And so I was just looking for a van. And when I turned about 49, I still had a truck, but I found a van, not the van I'm in now, but I found another van and I went and bought it. And the van didn't have, it only had the 2 front seats. So I was like, I can put a bed back there. That's me. So my roommate situation, my roommate, he worked for an airline. And I was like, I would never be roommates with anybody. When that situation was up, the lease was up. He was like, do you want to stay? And I was like, no, I don't want to do this lease. So I dipped and moved into my van. And it was, what was good about it was I am a digital nomad. So I figured if it didn't work out, like I could go back to, if you want to say real life. So I dipped. And I didn't look back. I have not looked back. I did it at 50. I had a sip and paint party. And so my family came, my sons came. And it was interesting because my son's girlfriend at the time, she came and everybody was painting me like 50th birthday things and pictures and stuff like that. And they were painting vans and she painted a house. And she was like, I just want you in a house. And I'm like, she didn't get it. She wasn't getting the concept, so whatever. But one of my sons was totally fine with it. Like, okay. And the other son was kind of, he wasn't feeling it, but it was what it was. I had to live my life, living my best life. Right.
Wow. This is impressive. Wow, 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 wow. So you were renting a room and you were like, that's it. I'm ready to go. And I'm gonna get it in and I'm just gonna experience it.
I'm leaving. I had started practicing before I even actually had to get out the place. I started practicing, spending the night, going different places, seeing if I could really sleep in a van. And I was like, oh, this is easy. So, yeah.
So you practiced?
I did practice. I had to practice. I wasn't just I practiced for I don't know, for a very long time. I started practicing. Yeah, I didn't just go into it. I did it while I was still in sticks and bricks. I wanted to see, where do I go to stealth camp? I knew I could do campground because I was a camper. I grew up camping all the time. But I started practicing to see if I could really do van life. I started practicing. Wow. And it was easy, right? It was easy.
Wow. Fia, tell us.
Hey.
Van life. And where are you now? You're in the van.
Well, first of all,
are you?
let me just say, I am in Africa. Yay! Yeah, so I've been here about 10 days, but I wanted to just start out by saying that I am part-time. Shout out to Frankie and What It Do DG, because I'm not full-time yet. Well, my story is weird, y'all. Okay. But to go back to her original question, Ray's question, I didn't grow up doing a lot of outdoorsy stuff. And so right about my late 30s, early 40s, I was like, I need to do more adventurous stuff. So I went out, learned how to ride a motorcycle. That was my first step towards that adventurous side of me. And so once I started doing, watching YouTube videos about motorcycles, somehow I think the algorithm just started feeding me anything related to motorcycles, adventure, camping, that kind of stuff. And so I just kind of fell into watching people live in their cars, watching people live in their minivans, and then RV life, and then all that good stuff. And so from there, of course, I'm still in a house, right? I bought my van because I'm just like, I want to do part-time van life. Before that, though, I had a minivan. I was trying to do van life in a minivan, but while still living in my house, right? So I'm like, okay, hubby, come with me. We're going to go camping. And hubby, yes, married. So I took him on a couple of trips, and it's great just eating dinner in the van together, right? But as soon as you start adding pillows and blankets and food and all this other stuff you got to take with you, as a single person, that would have been perfect, right? But with a hubby, you kind of need more space. So I was like, okay, let me look at some other stuff. And that's what led me to the van that I have now, which is a RV Road Trek, which allows you to stand up and cook, go to the restroom, a decent sized bed, and you can travel with more than one person. So
So
yeah,
you have
that's how I got to
you
where I'm
have a
at.
restroom in your RV. You said RV.
It is a van, so it's a Class B. It's the smallest RV you can get. So a Class B is the smallest RV you can get, but it looks like a van from the outside. So a lot of people look at it and they're like, "Oh, what is that?" Because they don't know to look for the tanks at the bottom. They don't. There's certain things you can look at a van and tell that it's an RV, and then there's certain things if you don't know that it's an RV, you just be like, "Oh, is that a cargo van? Is that a party van?" Is a lot of people at the gas station will ask me, "What kind of van is that? Do you have a kitchen in there?" So yeah, it doesn't look like an RV if you don't know enough about RVs. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But in your RV, like you said, you can cook, you can stand, you can use the bathroom. So you have a bathroom in your RV.
Yes. Yes. So
And
I'm
there's
part-time.
water and
We
you
use it for
flush and the whole thing.
well, and it's funny because I was going over one of the interviews I did with Frankie back earlier this year, and she was asking me, "Do I use my restroom?" At the time, no, I was not, because I was telling her I had a rule with my husband. I was like, "Listen, we only doing number one because I'm not comfortable driving it's my everyday driver. That's what I use to go to grocery shopping, go to doctor visits, go to work, whatever. Whenever I have to go to a real meeting, so it's my everyday driver and it's my road tripper vehicle. So I was like, I don't want number two floating around in there, even though that's not how it works. If you put the right stuff down in there, it massages it, and it's not that big of a deal, really. But me and my husband took a trip. I think it was July. Yeah, our anniversary, July. And I just gave up. I was just like, let's try it. Let's just try it while we're both in here on the road and see what it's like. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. So now I'm proud to say we use our bathroom the normal way. It's not just number one. So TMI, that's what it is.
This is hilarious. Because that's always my question is, how do I poo-poo? Because let me tell you, when I sometimes go back to New York, I stay in a cellar because I like manage buildings, and one of the buildings I can stay in the cellar and there's no toilet in the cellar, and I poo-poo in like a bucket with like a plastic bag. And I watch the van lifers, and I listen to your stories, and I'm like, dude, but I'm like, well, Ray, you do it too. So if you have to do it, you do it, and you get over it, and you get ego, and you're like, this is life, right? Exactly.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got your hubby to go with you. Now, why are you guys in Rwanda? What's happening in Rwanda?
Chilling.
Well, first of all, we've never been to Africa. I've always had a dream to come to Africa ever since would you say?
This is your first time?
This is my very first time. And I heard about it through, what piqued my interest was, have you guys heard of the Year of Return for Ghana?
Yes.
No.
Another country inside Africa did the Year of Return with encouraging the diaspora to come back home, basically, to visit, so look up Ghana Year of Return and you'll see all kinds of stuff on YouTube about it. But Rwanda is like, we were going to go to Ghana at first, but then we started researching other countries and we're like, you know what? Rwanda seems like more our speed. And it's because of the reputation they have. Rwanda is like the Singapore of China. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Singapore is like top notch for China. So this is like the Singapore of Africa. And we're here for to just kind of give back in terms of tourism, but also to scope out investment opportunities, farming opportunities, just partnering with other expats, other African Americans who have actually moved here. They've started businesses here. We're connecting with them. And just getting to know the place and scoping it out.
And how long have you guys been there already? 10 days? How long have you been there?
10 days. 10 days. Yep.
1 second.
And it's beautiful. I don't know if y'all can see the camera doesn't do it justice, but if I move the camera up just a little bit, it's like it's called I think it's Country of a Thousand Hills, but it's just beautiful, breathtaking out
Is that what
here.
they call it? A country of a thousand hills?
I think it's I'm in Kigali, which is the main city. I would call it. I don't. I yeah. So it's I think it's City of a Thousand Hills. I could be misquoting it, but I'm still learning. So I'm just here to learn. I'm here to just take it in and oof, woosah.
Woosah.
Okay.
Yes,
I
it's
have
yeah.
okay, so what advice, here's a question for you, Danette, that you could tell me. What advice would you give to someone who is similar to you, sitting at home, watching YouTube videos, and they want a van life? What advice would you give them? What would be the first thing that you would say? And they're
Number one,
not sure, like,
I'd say start with what you have. Put a sleeping situation in your car and go find somewhere to sleep. Like Frankie said, go around town and find somewhere. If you know that you think that you're going to camp all the time, well, book a site at a campground near you and go do it. You don't know until you go do it, until you at least try it in a small way. While you're in your sticks and bricks, you have opportunities, the same opportunities that we're out here driving around and we're looking for. You have the same ones at home. It is no different. And you don't have to jump in full time like I did. I knew this was going to be what I was going to do. And I said a year is what I was going to do it for, period. Because if not anything else, it gives me time to heal. It gives me time to see other things besides what's behind my door. So just go do it. You hear people say, just go do it. And it is true. There are some things that you're going to need. Amazon is fantastic for that. Every van life video that you're looking at, we all have Amazon stores. Click on it, get the absolute essentials and go start. Even if it's just for the weekend.
We have like Amazon lockers all over us. So
Yeah, we get our mail all the time, like anyone else.
Okay. Now, Frankie, tell me, if someone wants to van life, how do they find a van? How do they know the difference, like Fia was saying, between an
Get a van.
RV?
For me, I had a truck when I bought my van, and I was taking my truck to a repair shop, and there was a new dealership behind me. But you know how they put like the used vans, the pre-owned vans, like in a different spot. And I just saw the van, like I'm buying that van. So that's how I found my van. But I wanted to say something. Keep in mind, no two van lives are alike. So for me, YouTube kind of not forces you YouTube, but they put you in a box. Like, are you a travel blogger? Are you a van lifer? Are you a this or a that? I consider myself to be a digital nomad. And as a digital nomad, when I camp, like I've camped with Fia, we camp at campgrounds. So when you think about van life, you think about people say, oh, you're not in your van all the time. So they think that you just have to be in your van. I go to Airbnbs, I go to hotels, motels. So don't think of van life like it's just one way or the highway. If you get tired, if your body needs a rest, if you want to go stay in an Airbnb, that's what I do. So I don't think that it's just like one. You don't have to be, I'm van life, this is all I do is van life. Like, no, you don't. And you're not being untrue to this lifestyle. I enjoy the freedom, it's healing, it's nature, but I have no problem. I've stayed with relatives. I mean, I've done a lot of different, not stayed with them, but like stayed overnight or whatever. So don't feel like you have to just is van life or the highway. That's not the case at all. That's not the case. It's living a freedom lifestyle. That's the way I look at it. It's more living a freedom lifestyle, taking your home wherever you go.
Lifestyle. Can you expand upon that some more? Lifestyle.
Well, I know when I turn 50, wait a minute, I'm trying to get the light and I'm kind of cold. So I know when I turned 50, I knew that I wanted to do something different. Being in my the sticks and bricks, it was just like I felt like I was just there. I was a digital nomad, and I felt like I didn't get out. I didn't explore as much as I used to. At one point, I used to like go to church, and then it was like I go out, and I was just in the house, and I wanted to just get out. And I love nature. I love being outdoors, and so I just wanted to hit the open road. And even though I know all the other, like I know Africa is beautiful and feel we can see the view, but I thought about even when I was going to go to Chiang Mai, I thought about America the beautiful. Like I know it has a history sometimes with us, but there are so many spaces and places, even in my own backyard. My home base is Ohio, and America is freaking beautiful. So when we think about we gotta go, no, I was like, I'm not going to Chiang Mai. I was like, I'm gonna get in a van and I'm gonna explore America. And so that's what I've been doing. I have been out of the country, Jamaica, Bahamas. I've done a lot of, before I became a van lifer, I traveled. If you want to say doing traditional travel, I did that. And I found, like, I was in New York and I went through LaGuardia Airport, and I was like, this airport is a city. It was a nightmare. So I did not enjoy like airports, having to drive there and then get off. And I'm like, literally, it was like going through a city trying to, you Ray, you in New York, right? Or you're in Paris, but
I'm in Paris right now. I'm in Paris. But yeah,
I know you're in Paris, but I mean, I think you grew up in New York. So LaGuardia Airport is it's a nightmare. Like it's just like something So it's a nightmare. So just know that van life is just no way to do it. Like Fia said, she's part-time. She's in Africa right now. You do it how you want. Like what it do, DG. I just like calling her that. But like Danette said, it's like you make it your own. If you need time to rest, if you want to go to your wherever you want to go, you have a right to do that. They'll say, oh, you ain't really no van lifer. And I'm like, what is a real van lifer? Like, please explain to me. Well, you would never get an Airbnb. You would be self-contained. I'm like, really? So, and I can't.
Yeah, I like what Frankie's saying. It's just a quick tip, if I can interject. When you're doing your style of van life, don't let people project fear into your plan. Just because it don't make sense to them, don't mean that you should not do it. Okay, so like Frankie said, if you want to stay in hotels along the way, you want to glamp a little bit here and there, you want to stay at a park. Some people think you're just supposed to rough it the whole time, and that is not. You do you, right? And don't let people project fear into your, situation.
Or think that it's different. When I was with Fia camping, we went to the mall. Fia had us at the mall, the restaurant. So we did everything that, if you want to say real life stuff, we did real life stuff, right? We didn't just stay in the woods. And so we went to restaurants and Stone Mountain, and we did everything.
That was awesome.
Touristy stuff.
Awesomeness.
And I heard people say, well, y'all doing touristy stuff. So that's not, like, how you going to tell me what's there? Like, I can't enjoy myself, right?
Right.
It's funny you say that, Fia, because I was just about to ask that question. Like, do you guys get any naysayers, even from family, friends? Like, when you were starting, when you're doing it, what are you doing? How could you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you deal with that? Because it's one thing to say, don't let it bother you, but how do you really not let it bother you?
Yeah, well, if I want my husband to go with me, obviously there's some work to do there, right? If you have your husband or you have your significant other and you're trying to convince them to go with you on the road, there's going to be a little bit of work involved, okay? I've been married 30 years, so just be ready for the work. All right, that's tip number one. Number two is when I went on my first road trip, I did not take the longest road trip was to the Grand Canyon. I took a girlfriend with me. And the fear, that was right when COVID was happening. People were like, oh my God, how are you? Don't you know COVID's out there? Aren't you afraid to catch anything? And what are you going to do when you get to Arizona? And what if something happens to your van? And all this project. I said, listen, I'm in a space. I know I'm in a bubble. I've already manifested what I'm getting ready to do. So I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm moving on. So it's not always easy. But the only person that really matters right now is my hubby. Anybody else, just like, you know what? Thank you for your advice. I appreciate it. I really do want to be careful, but I'm not getting ready to take on projected fear. Yeah. There's a natural fear, right? Be careful. Your instincts tell you. Your intuition tells you when to be careful, but you don't need you know, somebody else coming in and saying, oh, you know, giving you all these negativity situations that could happen. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. What were you going to say, Danette? Please, yes, add.
No, I have a friend who she's like, oh my God, you know, why would you do something like this? You know, what about your responsibilities and all that stuff?
Like, that was
Excuse me, you can work from the road, get paid, and I still pay my bills. I'm not running away from anything. I'm still taking care of absolutely everything I'm supposed to. I have the same way in normal life or real life, however you want to call it. You have a time designated for you to work. So do I. And that may look like all day, just like any other lifestyle, or it may look like a few hours. But I'm not running away from any responsibilities. What are you going to do, you know, if something happens? What are you going to do if something happens in your house? You always have your measures of security, no matter what
exactly.
you're doing. And I think that people feel like it's so different. It's really not. The same way that you think about your security and your financial situation and all those things in your house, we think about the same thing. We have the same processes in place as normal or real life.
people. And I think also we look at it like living out of our van. One of the things
Yeah.
with being in a mini camper van, because I'm in such a small space, I do enjoy working in my van because I got a little desk set up and I got, you know, I got a bed and everything. But I enjoy getting out, like walking, being in nature. When I was in Six and Bricks, although I always walked and got out and did like nature walks and stuff, I just explore so much more. Like I'm always exploring in somebody's woods. I drove to like Minnesota, Wisconsin. I camped. I went to a campground and I didn't know anything about the campground. I was by myself and it was like these $100,000 RVs. And then this was when that Floyd stuff was going, you know, I can't, God forgive me, but so I went there and I was like afraid, like, and I asked the campground, I was like, do y'all have bears? And she was like, huh? I was like, do y'all do racism? I mean, I really asked, and they were like, no,
Right.
no, ma'am. They were like, we are, and they were so, no, but you have to ask because sometimes when you're
Yeah.
traveling on the road, I know a lot of people, they get uncomfortable when you talk about that, and I don't even want to share. I was with Fia and Fia's van looks like it looks like a RV limousine to me. And we were there, and my van is no like kicking the, you know, bucket or whatever, but we got they called the Rangers on us. We were touring each other's van. That's the police. And he came and he was very rude. He parked between me and Fia. Fia didn't know what was going on because she was in her
I
van,
didn't.
straight out her van. And I was outside and the lady got out and this lady, she was looking so mean, just so, and I was like, why is she looking? I'm smiling because I talk to everybody. I love nature. And I'm like, why is she looking so mean? So y'all know I got them Joy Route letters, you know, my little orange letters. And the lady was having a graduation. Yes, the lady was having a graduation party for her son. And she thought, because she said she had some letters like that, and she thought that we were going to take, you know how you rent a place. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you ask us? Do we look like we're going to take a thing? And he came, and then he came out smiling and he apologized to us. He's like, she thought y'all were going to take her. And it's just crazy. And I was in Tennessee and I was at a Cracker Barrel, and this stuff happens on the road. And this is what you have to ask when you're going into different places that you've never been. You'll be surprised. I mean, 90% of the time, everybody is fine, but you have things that people do when you're traveling to different areas. You don't know the area. So things happen. So I would say,
like Frankie was saying, I didn't know what was happening, but that lady, she called the ranger rather than actually ask Frankie or myself. She could have asked before calling the ranger.
I was smiling at her. She was mean mugging me, and I'm like, why? So it's crazy. Yeah.
So you still, but of course, it doesn't matter where you are, how you're traveling, you will always experience racism wherever you are.
Yeah.
Right? As long as we have our it will always experience it in some kind of way.
Exactly. They profile you, different things, but the majority of my experiences have been wonderful. Camping at that campground, I ended up staying maybe a week, and I was by myself, and I ended up meeting people, talking to people. I built, so once it all works out, but at first you always leery where you're going. I've turned around from places. I've been at campgrounds, and I was like, I'm not going to stay here. Let me just get on out of here. And so you do, so. Yeah.
And part of it too, I'm thinking, is you have to trust your instincts and your discernment.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so some questions are coming in. People are asking about, do any of you own a home? Do you own homes, or do you still rent a home and do van life? I know, Fear, you were saying that. So I know, so maybe someone missed that part. Do you, any of you own homes too?
No, relinquish that. I mean, I was married, did the whole home, kids, raised them, went to college. I did the so-called American dream. I went to film school. People don't know that, but it was
You
like
went
for
to
me,
film school?
I went to UCLA. Yeah. I don't even talk about
Nice.
it on this
Yeah.
channel. Yeah. I don't even talk about it on this channel. And then I graduated from a college here in Ohio, like on my undergraduate degree. So, I mean, we normal people. Like people think you just in this van, and I am houseless. I mean, and I'm not knocking people. I've had struggles in my life where, you could say I'm living with a family member. And so I'm not knocking people who are actually homeless, but we are houseless and zip
Mhm.
coded. So it's a choice. And no, right now I'm going into a Boxable, a casita, and there will be a link if you go over to my channel in a couple of years. So what a Boxable is, it's a prefab home, and it's
Okay.
affordable housing. So like they start at $43,000, and then you can make payments. Like if you want to pay $250 a month. So I think in about 3 years I'm going to not think I am on the waiting list for a Boxable. And it's interesting because Elon Musk, he lives in this Boxable. Now he's a billionaire, right? So that's what
And you
I'm
said
doing.
it's portable, it moves, it's mobile?
But you have to put it on land. But yeah, they bring it to you on a truck. Like it moves. Yeah, you can take it to the land where you want it to be. And so I've been talking to some ladies, offline, and we've been talking about maybe going in on some land and doing that and just putting one lady wants like a she shed or a container. So we've been talking about a different lifestyle of living after van life. That's my plans after van life. So no, yeah.
You don't plan on being in van life forever.
No. I think I always travel in a van as long as I'm able to do it, but I do want a fixed place. Yeah. So I do want to.
How long do you think people can actually van life for? 5
As
years,
long as they
10?
want to. There are people that are 70 years old. I know a lot of people who watch my channel. The average age is 55 to 65. And I hear from people all the time who say, one lady was like, I'm 76. I'm going in an SUV, like Danae. People, they
Mhm.
want to. People, they do. So I think any age that you're physically able to do it. And if you can't do like a mini camper van, if you're able to afford like what Fia has, then I think any age. Yeah, any
Yeah, I was
age.
just gonna say I have a home base, but it's
Mm-hmm.
oh sorry. Say it again. I missed
You
it.
still
And
own your
I
home, or you
see.
give it home?
We actually moved. We moved out of a physical sticks and bricks into a what I would call RV, a residential RV.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for the sake of the audience, I don't want anybody to get confused. It's an RV, but it's mobile. It's on wheels. It's sort of like a tiny home, but it's a real 2-bedroom, fireplace, patio, you know, residential refrigerator. It's a
Okay.
real home to me, right? It's my home base. So
Got
that's
it.
why I do van life part time. So van life is not, I don't live in my van, I live in my RV.
Got it. Now let's talk a little bit about how we all make money. How are we making money, ladies? Are we working from our jobs where we can work from home? Are we digitally working? How are we creating an income?
So I've been writing for over 30 years. And so what I do now is I sell ebooks and e-courses. My goal is to create products. I have like 100 products on the market where you create them once and they pay you over and over again. Although with ebooks and e-courses, you do have to update your material, but it's not like creating it from scratch. So right now I have products on a lot of different markets and I sell my products. I just came out with a Joy Route journal. So my thing is I want to create content and sell it. So when I need to go off in the woods for like 3 weeks, I can do that and let my products continue to make money for me. So I have classes, I have e-courses, I have ebooks, I have physical books, and that's how I earn my money. I used to do a lot of freelance writing services, and I don't. The reason why I really don't do that, I would do it if I needed to, because when you're writing for somebody else, you do the service and you get paid. And to get paid again, you have to do that service over again. But when you create a product, it's your product. it sells, and you create it once and you get paid from it over and over again. Again, you do have to update your products, but it's not the same as creating them from scratch. So my goal is like to have 1,000 products on the market. At any given time, I may have like 60 products. That's what I do. I just put out products, and some just take off right away, and then some, you know, they don't do as much. But just like even with YouTube is a product. These videos,
like YouTube. Some videos get 2 views, some get 10,000.
Yeah, YouTube is digital content. Yeah, YouTube is digital content. So when you put these out, you know, YouTube is digital content, and so you get paid from YouTube. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
What about you, Danette? How do you make money? How do you make loot?
So currently I'm building a virtual assistant business, but in the meantime, while that's getting, you know, started and all that good stuff, I actually DoorDash wherever I am. I mostly stay in big cities. So I will actually go out and do deliveries for a few hours to make my money. But that is temporary until, like I said, my business is bringing me income that, you know, is generating well. And then also I need to get with Frankie, because I plan on making a travel planner that I can sell digitally.
Yes, sis, I will help you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Mama. Yeah, so I have plans on doing things like that too, so that I have something, because while Frankie is looking forward to being in, you know, having land and all that stuff. Now I might buy land, but my end goal is to be on a boat.
I know that's right.
So.
Nice. Ooh, I like that.
So you
can live on a boat.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes. Yes, I say once I'm tired of driving, I
like that idea of living on a boat. It's your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've been told, society says, go to school, get married, have these kids, $2. And some people say, you know what, I cannot color in the lines. I have to do things differently. And I've never been able to color in the lines, right? Can you hear me? Oh, I can't. So I have to think about it out the box.
All that pressure, the way we're socialized. You're right. Get married, have kids, work. You know, we as women fighting for our rights to work, and we birthing babies, and we working, and we cooking, and we cleaning.
Those days are over. I'm married, but I ain't doing all that. No, we're a team.
You gotta come and share some of
this. Me and my hubby are a team. We are a team. Yes,
as it should be.
So before I get to you, Fia, some people are asking you, Frankie, they want to know where you put your products out, and also they need, I guess, a link of where you're dropping. I think Cherna said she needs a link of where you're dropping your products or how you're doing your.
It's on my channel. Like I got a video.
Like. Oh my God.
Yeah, like. I have a video on my channel how my different income streams, so she can find it, or I'll drop. I think she's on my channel. So if you're over there, it's a video that explains how I make money online. My products are everywhere. They're on Gumroad, they're on Amazon, they're on Kobo. Kobo is like the Amazon, the Canada version of Amazon. So Kobo, Amazon. I even have products on Fiverr. I sell PDFs on Fiverr. Yeah. I have Skillshare. Like at one point, like I had the #1 class on Skillshare, right? Like out of everybody, like the #1. It was surprising because, and this is what I want to tell people too. Like, can you hear me? I think wait a minute. I told you I need to write.
No, we hear you perfectly, Frankie.
Okay, well, I tell people, like, writing is my strength, but like on camera presence, y'all see, I can't even sit still. I'm in here doing everything, right? But I think that so if I can, you can too. Writing is my strength, but the classes, even the YouTube, has been a total shock to me because production and on camera skills, it's not my thing, but I've done really well. And I do work incredibly hard. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning grinding, but you know, if I can, but anyway, they can find it on my channel. And I guess we can put a link here too. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want, go ahead and put the link into the live chat. You have it, so you can just drop it in.
Okay.
I'm not ready that kind of stuff. So
figure it
how you be making dough?
Yeah, that's what people want to know. I mean,
me and my husband started an IT consulting business back in 1998. So we've been running that ever since. Sort of part-time right now because we're both full-time in corporate America. But we both have jobs that are flexible enough for us to work from home. So in the IT industry. So we're IT consultants
be doing it.
/ I teach information security, computer programming, stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We want to retire early so we don't have to keep doing that.
They're doing it.
Exactly. I know some people who like teach English, tutoring, consulting, working from home. But what's really, really, really gotten me is Danette. DoorDash?
Yes.
You gotta hustle, though.
Yeah, you gotta hustle a little bit. I mean, it's money in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? And while it is, maybe every couple of days or whatever, depending on what city you are. I mean, I went to go visit Panama City, and it's a tourist town. So I have family there, but I went when, basically all the tourists are gone and all the snowbirds are down there right now. So there wasn't a lot of money to be made. I cut my trip short. And that's the great thing about van life is I can cut my trip short and go to the next town.
I know people who DoorDash. I know some van lifers who DoorDash, and they enjoy it. One of my friends, she's in Florida, and she's DoorDashing. Is Panama in Florida? Where's Panama?
Yeah, Panama City is in Florida.
She's in a different part. I think she's in, I don't want to say Miami. I don't know where she's at, but she's down there doing okay DoorDashing. So I do know people who DoorDash.
Well, since we're talking about food, how do you guys eat? How do you guys cook? Do you cook in your van? Do you eat? How do you eat? What?
When I'm tagging along with Fia, I'm trying to get her to use her air fryer. We eat in Fia's van. No, I'm just.
yeah, we did. We did.
We eat in Fia's van.
Went out to
no. She won't cook.
No, we went to a Jamaican restaurant.
We went to so many Jamaican restaurants.
You have an air fryer in your SUV. In your RV, you have an air fryer.
She got an air fryer, microwave. This girl, she's like,
it comes with the microwave. But I bought an air fryer because I like to. Yeah, but I haven't used it, y'all.
You don't use it.
I have not used it yet.
You got a stove in your RV? I mean, in your van.
Yeah, I have a stove. It's a propane stove, so it runs on propane gas. It's a 2-burner, I think, two or three, one of those.
Extravagant thing you've ever cooked in your van?
Nothing.
I haven't. The most I've made is like egg and sausage wrap. But that's it's quick. It's real quick.
Out and about.
No, I mean no, we don't.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I know.
So I'm on the road.
No, because we eat now. So for me, like in the summertime, I do a lot of salads and fruits. Even when I travel, I do those tuna packs. And so that's kind of my way of going. Now, you do have to eat out sometimes, but I have a butane stove. I would never use it in my van. But keep in mind, my lifestyle is not just parking lots. Like my lifestyle is camping and my lifestyle is Airbnbs. And so when you do that, you don't have to. I'm not just every day. I mean, I may go like a period of time where I am camping at stores or a cracker, whatever. But then I go to campgrounds. And so I have all the amenities as somebody who, and when I'm in my home base of Ohio, my family, I'm not always near my family, but I mean, I just buy out every day. Every morning I go to the store, I get a yogurt and a piece of fruit, not because just to keep me regular so that I don't have to use it in advance. So I go and get a yogurt and a piece of fruit, right? And then like for lunch, now I go to like Panera and grab soups and things like that. But because I stay at so many like restaurants, I'm in a parking lot, I see so many things, workers coming out, and I am like totally turned off by eating restaurant food. I mean, I'm not saying I don't eat it, I absolutely do, but there is a way to eat healthy. I cut up cucumbers and tomatoes and apples and all kinds of stuff. I have some videos on my channel where I show some of the stuff that I cut up and do. So yeah, and I use a cooler. I don't, but I have a friend and her name is Tina and she lives in her van. She's the one that DoorDash. She does have our vans are kind of similar. She has a mini camper van. She does have a fridge. So you could put a fridge and use it. I have a Jackery. And so you could use a 12-volt fridge. Right now, it hasn't been an issue for me because, again, I look at when I went to Minnesota and Wisconsin, I was at a campground, and then when I wasn't at a campground, I was at a hotel. So it's just like my lifestyle. I am in my van, and when the temperature is perfect, I have no problem camping at a Cracker Barrel or I don't go to Walmart no more but I have no problem with camping in store parking lots. But all that store parking lots allows me when I want to go to campgrounds, and I love campgrounds. Every other video, I'm in a campground, and that's what I do. My rent is campgrounds.
That
you can
makes
look
sense.
at it like that.
There you
So
go.
then, what are you eating on the roads? Are you cooking in a stove? Well, you have an SUV, so what are you eating? Do you just jump, like you were saying, do you just jump to restaurants? What do you do?
So I have a problem with eating out. I like to eat out. But I do have a camp stove right up here behind me. And I do have a fridge. And I usually keep, like Frankie said, some yogurt in there, some fruit, vegetables, all that stuff. I have all that stuff, so I don't necessarily have to cook. But just like in a park like this, like I'm at a park right now, I can take out that stove, put it on a table, and cook what I need to cook. No problem.
And a barbecue grill.
How are you guys staying warm?
Girl, somebody left a barbecue grill over there.
No way.
Yeah, when we were, me and some friends were at the beach a couple of weeks ago, and we cooked over the campfire.
Yeah, you cook over the campfire. How I'm staying warm. I was last winter. I didn't realize how spoiled I was. I'm going west. I'm getting ready to get on the road, and I have a lot of friends in Arizona and California. So I'm getting ready to go west. This is the first winter I've actually been in my mini camper van. I have something called a mummy sleeping bag. It's called a mummy, and you're in there. You're in a mummy. But I'm gonna tell you something. That thing keeps you incredibly warm. You can sleep through the night. Then I have these things. I kind of find them, these hand warmers. So I have been in the van this winter, and I thought I would die because I can't do cold. I've been surviving it. I've been needing time to myself. I've been needing personal time. And I haven't done the family stuff. It's coming up, but I've just needed personal time. And although I always have family members are like, are you crazy? And they're like, everybody's going around saying you're crazy, but I love my personal time. I love my clubhouse. This is my clubhouse. So I love being and then again, I live out of my van. So in the daytime, I've been going to the movies, and that's something I really don't do. But in the day, so I try to only get in this van when it's time to sleep and get in my mummy sleeping bag. And that's what my thing is. So yeah, I've been fine.
How do you stay warm, Jeanette? How do you?
She's in Florida.
Right now I'm actually in New Orleans right now.
Oh, wow.
And the temperature just dropped yesterday.
It'd be cold as hell.
But I have about 4 blankets that I use, and then I have a heated blanket that I use, and then I have a hot water bottle that I can use if I need to. I know that I can safely sleep down to 40 degrees and be comfortable, no problem. And my car, I can start it remotely, so I can start the heater before I get up from under all of them blankets. Yeah, I'm very comfortable.
Nice.
So how do you have a heating blanket? Don't you need to plug that in?
I have a Jackery 1000 that uses
it.
Yeah.
What's a Jackery 1000? What's that?
So it's a power station, and it can be charged either by your car, by the 12-volt charger in your car, or it can be powered by solar. I do have the solar panels, but this time of year that means nothing. So I actually power while I'm driving. I charge it during the day. And then at night,
it's a portable bank of electricity. She has 1,000 watts. I don't have 1,000 watt Jackery, but the Jackery that I have, it will charge my electric blanket, but just for a little bit, and it zaps up all the power. But it's portable electricity. So I have a storage unit, and when I go in my storage unit, I bring my portable electricity because it's a storage unit, but it looks like an apartment. And I plug it in my Jackery. I plug my laptop and my cell phone, my flashlight, any type of electricity that I need. Now the net has the mother. If you got 1,000 watts, you got the mother of all Jackeries, right? And so she can do your blanket and stuff. I know that keeps it. Mine zaps up. I mean, when I plug in my electric blanket, it's over for my Jackery. It stops. It just takes off. Yeah. So, and I'm like the net. I will turn on my car. I'll play. I will turn on my car in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Mhm.
And Fia,
Make sure
how
you
do
keep.
you stay warm, Fia? What do you do?
She's got to.
So when I'm on the road, you would think that my van would be super warm, but it's not. You have to, I have a propane heater built in to the
Yeah.
van. So I can use the propane heater, but that uses propane gas. I can also turn on the engine. But I've been known to go ahead and take 2 electric blankets. And like Frankie said, if you plug it
Mhm.
into one of those, less
That.
than 1,000-watt batteries, it's not gonna last. So
Mm-mm.
I have an inverter built in. So that means I have AGM batteries connected
Mhm.
to my inverter, which allows me to plug in the electric blankets. But I have to power manage. And Frankie taught me something. She said on our first camping trip,
ABC.
she said always be
Be
charging
charging. ABC.
ABC,
You gotta
Yeah,
be.
ABC, and
yeah.
that has stuck with me. So
Exactly. And
yeah,
you
the way
she
I stay
taught
warm
me
is a
about
combination.
the anchor. You're the first battery bank.
Oh
She's the first.
yeah,
She had the one. She let me use her anchor. But when we at campgrounds and stuff, I have
Well,
space
what's
heaters.
an anchor? What's an anchor?
It's a portable
it's a
battery bank.
portable charger. Like right now, I'm
Yeah.
charging my phone out here
Mm-hmm.
on the patio. But it's
Mm-hmm.
this right here, and it's charging my phone as we're recording,
And
so I
here's
can
my
take it with me
Jackery.
anywhere.
Oh, let me see
Yeah.
your Jackery. Let me see them.
You see it? It's a,
Uh,
wait a second.
and you have to,
It's
and
a,
then you have to charge. You have to charge the Jackery. You have to
you
charge the
just
Jackery.
you charge it when you're driving or whatever. It charges off
Right.
it can do that. And then if you go in some place, like if I go in Panera Bread, I'm like, I'll charge it in the Panera Bread or the library. You just go in there because it charges faster when you put it in what do you call it? Shore power. What do you call the walls? You can charge it in your
DC
Socket, real
or
socket. Yeah, yeah.
okay. But yeah, it charges faster when you put it in like actual electricity. But if you put it in your car, the what used to be called the cigarette lighter or whatever, you charge it up and you get it at 100%, and it'll last you maybe, I don't know, mine lasts a couple of days because I really don't need it. When I'm driving, I have my laptop charging, my phone, anything that I'm going to need at night. And I also have a Lucy light. It lights up my entire van. It runs off of solar. But like Danette was saying, solar right now, you're not. Mm-hmm.
Right, that makes sense. So I'm going to
Yeah.
throw another question at you guys. Someone was asking about campgrounds.
Ooh,
Like,
oh.
so you have to pay to stay in a campground? Tell us a
Ooh,
little.
yeah. You do have to pay to stay. You have to pay to stay at campgrounds, but what's good? Like if I'm traveling with people, like I have a friend, Andrea, I've traveled with Fia. I usually travel with people. And so if you travel with them, y'all just split the cost. It may be $58 or something like that a night. Yeah. So that's cheap though to get everything you need plugged up, to be able to get a hot shower, to be able to just like you in a place. So you're not in a parking lot where somebody can say you leave. I was at a Walmart store and my van got put on a tow truck while I was there. When I was in my van.
No way!
Mm-hmm. It got put on a tow
Oh,
truck.
I heard about that.
Yeah. And
I
I
heard
was
about that.
kidnapped.
Yeah, I
I was
watched that.
I was kidnapped. I was
Oh my
kidnapped.
goodness, that's
Yeah.
traumatic. That's traumatic.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very traumatic. Yeah.
That is
And
crazy.
he kidnapped
Holy.
me basically. So I don't be parking at Walmart stores. I wouldn't advise anybody to go park at Walmart stores. The sheriff's
How much
came
does
and like
a campground usually cost? Like, what would something like that cost?
say that again now.
How much would a campground cost if you
For
go by
like
yourself?
$58. Like this time of year, it's $38. So I go to campgrounds all the time. I go if it's really, really cold and I know I just want to plug in my space heater and I want to just like be in my van. That's what I'll do. Most days here, we've been having like really warm weather. So I haven't needed to go anywhere. But if it gets like freezing and I just wanted to not be in my mummy's sleeping bag, I'll go to a campground. Because that's what I say, Mom, I work too hard to not be able to have to be uncomfortable. I don't have to be uncomfortable when I don't want to. Like, I'll go to a campground. In a hotel too, I have a lot of points. So it just depends.
Okay.
It
Now,
depends.
what do you do, Donette? Have you ever done like a campgrounds, or have you done that before? And how much did you pay?
I have not yet done campgrounds. I
So
kind of free camp around the city wherever I am.
Where are you
So,
sleeping?
so,
Are you
um,
sleeping in parking lots?
so yes, I kind of find somewhere where I can sleep around the city, like in New Orleans. I like to sleep near Lake Pontchartrain. I'm not gonna tell you where I be, but I like to sleep near Lake Pontchartrain.
Smart girl.
And then,
Smart girl.
but and it's really nice. I like to do a lot of beach camping as well. So especially since I'm down here in the South and it's still pretty warm right now, I like to do a lot of beach camping.
And you can see beach camping for free?
You may have to buy a sticker, but that's maybe $10. And once you have that, you can stay anywhere for like 3 days up to a week. They'll let you know once you buy the sticker. But even if it's 3 days, you move a few miles up the beach.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, cool.
It's just you can't be in that spot.
Yeah. What are you saying?
How did you get that sticker? I'm sorry.
Typically, whatever beach you're at, there's usually a gas station or a grocery store nearby where you can buy that. And it's certain beach. I know Texas beaches are that way. I'm not really sure about like Florida and all of that. Because when I went to Florida and Alabama, I did stay with family.
Gotcha. Sorry about that, Ray.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So you also do campgrounds, of course, Fee. I think we went over that, right? You also do.
Yeah, when I'm traveling, like when I met up with Frankie back last year and earlier this year, we went to campgrounds. If like Frankie was saying, you don't have to go to campgrounds. You can just boondock at like Danette is doing, or you can go like to Cracker Barrels. I've stayed at Walmarts. I've stayed at truck stops. And sometimes, for the most part, as long as there's a lot of people around, I generally feel safe. There's, sometimes you want quiet, and if you want, go ahead. If you want quiet, sometimes if I want extra quiet, oops, sorry, there's a delay. If there's a lot of noise at a truck stop, for example, I will pull up. I research it before I get there. First of all, I look up Google Maps. I decide whether I want to stay at a Love's truck stop based on the rating. If the Google rating is good inside MapQuest or whatever, or Google Maps,
so they have Google,
then I will head over there.
Truck stops?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you can literally go into your Google Maps and look up truck stops.
I love truck stops.
Inside the app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there are also several apps
stops.
like iOverlander and things like that will let you know good places to stay around the town, especially if you're boondocking like myself. It'll let you know where you can stay. Cracker Barrel is usually a good place to stay. Some Walmarts are outlawing being able to stay there overnight, but it'll let you know where to stay. Yeah.
There's a site also called Campsite.
Yeah, freecampsites.net also.
Yeah. And you can camp for free. But my thing is free. Some of the amenities, like when I've been like with different people, we do camp at like hotels, like right outside the hotel. Like people are in the hotel sleeping and we're in the parking lot sleeping. They don't know, they don't care.
My first trip, I stayed at a casino in the parking lot.
Oh, I love casinos. I've been to casinos.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the casinos. I really love it. It's
so nervous, but it was so chill. Yeah, because they have like a section for RVs. You go park over there and the trucks come in and they shut off their trucks, so it's real quiet actually.
I park right in the casino where all the action is. It don't even noise doesn't bother me. No, I prefer noise. Like I wouldn't park anywhere. Yeah, I like truck stops. I love truck stops. I feel so safe. I like rest stops as well.
Me too.
Because you feel safe. Like, you feel like,
And then also the good thing about the truck stops is you can go in there and take a shower too.
Yes.
Where do you take a shower? There's a shower where you could go with just women.
Yeah.
No,
you
you
get your own
separate
private You get your own private shower.
Yeah. You pay for shower.
You go in there and pay. It's about $12, and you go in there, you can take a shower.
And then Planet Fitness.
But you can also do Planet Fitness. Yep. Planet Fitness. $10 a month. $20 a month.
Shower. How do you shower? Brush your teeth.
Easily. Planet Fitness. I'm having pajamas right now. So right now I got on my pajamas, but and I usually don't sleep in pajamas. It's just the Christmas, and I'm out doing the Christmassy thing. But I get up, and in the van, I wash my face and brush my teeth, and then like I get to working. I just start working in my van, and then later on, like today, I'm gonna go to Planet Fitness. There's always one around, and I'm gonna walk a little bit, and I'm gonna get in the shower. So you can
Okay.
go in, but I take my battery thing and my Jackery and Planet Fitness and just plug it up. They don't say nothing. So
Right.
I just
Someone
yeah.
someone is saying there must be a delay, so it's becoming difficult at times. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll talk separately. Yeah, they're saying it's hard
Okay.
to hear. Okay. So I'm gonna go to Fia. Fia, I have a question for you. Someone, or maybe it's not even a question for you, maybe it's a question for everyone. Someone here asks, I'll ask this from all of you. Are there places that, and we'll start with you, Fia, are there places you will not travel on the van life? And are there places you want to go that you haven't been to as yet?
If I could, I would travel in my van in Africa, but you have to ship it over here. So that's not in the works. But I do want to go to Mexico. And me and Frankie have talked about going to Turkey. Of course, you can't take your van there. You'd have to ship it. But as far as taking my van, I would say, yeah, Mexico is the closest. I would say, yeah, Mexico is the only place that I could take it. That I can think of that I really want to go.
And is there some place you would not want to travel to in your van, or you're willing to go anywhere?
I don't think there's any one place I would not go. I mean, obviously you're going to try to go to the safest areas in, every region that you visit, but I don't think there's any one place I would not go. Because I think
how do you know where the safest place is? How do you know where the safest place is?
So that comes back to internal wisdom, intuition, instincts, research, and then more research. And even after all your research, you still don't know it all. But safety is up here. It's just like when I started riding my motorcycle, right away, people were telling me all these bad stories about what happened to people they knew who rode a motorcycle. And I was just like, it's up here. When I'm on the road, it's up here. Safety is up here. Yeah, I can't control everybody else, but I can control what I think and my awareness, my wisdom, my intuition, my instincts. So there's no one thing I wouldn't do if I really had the passion to do it.
Okay. How about you, Danette? Thank you, Fia. How about you? I'm just going to mute you guys so that they were saying think we can hear all of us. How about you, Danette? Where do you want to go in your van? Is there a place you wish you go or a place you wouldn't go?
So I am not restricting myself to not going anywhere. The only places that I will not visit is known sundown towns. And if you don't know what that is known towns that are not welcoming to Black people.
Huh?
And there are, yes. And there are several of them around the US that you really don't want to find yourself in at all. And like Fia said, it's research. It's talking to other van lifers about, where it's good to go and your instincts. But I plan to travel the US. Once I make it towards Alaska, I plan to do the Pan-Alaskan Road, which is from Alaska all the way down to South America. And then from there, I'll decide where I want to go. I may ship it to Europe and travel around Europe. It has been done. You can ship it. And it is something I might possibly do. But like I said, if I'm tired of driving by then, I'm going to get a boat. And then I'll go do it that way.
Wow. Someone said, look, I want to try something different. Ooh. Karen! Can you tell us which towns, cities? Oh my God, bye-bye.
Okay. So there are several. There is a PDF, and I will get my tablet and I will try and get the link for you. But if you look up on Google list of sundown towns, there's a whole list by state of which towns that you probably should not find yourself in. Yes. It is that simple. I have it printed off and put in a planner. So whenever I'm planning my, where I'm going next, I'm making sure, am I passing through any of these towns when I'm going? So that I know not to stop here. I'm just not stopping here.
Okay, okay. Now tell us, Frankie, is there a place that you want to go or that you wouldn't go? Tell us, tell us.
Well, first, to Danette's point, it used to be called the Green Book, would tell you where people who were traveling, like musicians and things like that, what town, where they could sleep at, what hotels they could sleep at, what hotels they could, where they should stop. Now there's an updated thing. It's even for expats like you, Ray. They tell you people, it's a Green Book. It's an updated version of the Green Book, and it tells you where people, what countries do African American or Black people feel, welcomed, or what states, what cities, and it's done by Black people, and they write in this guide, they give reviews. Like, I was in this city and I didn't feel welcome or whatever. So there's an updated. For me, when I go out west, like, I got friends, a lot of my friends that are out west, we're getting ready to go on Bureau of Land Management, like BLM land. And I'm terrified really to go to BLM land, but I've been assured by some of my friends that it's perfectly safe. I've heard good things about being on BLM land, and I've heard some things that concern me, but that is a place that a lot of van dwellers and people who live in RVs, they go, you can stay for 14 days. Like,
So
it's just that.
we say BLM land. This is like Black Lives Matter. This is like
It's not
a
Black
black.
Lives Matter. It's called the Bureau of, I know, that's good. It's called the Bureau of Land Management, BLM land. And there are meetups coming up in January. And it's where people go who live in their RVs or vans, and they don't ever want to have a mortgage or pay rent. And they go to this, it's free land. This is in Arizona. It's called BLM land. A lot of people, tons of van dwellers live on this land. That's what I originally thought would be where I was going to, like, stay. But then no. So yeah, BLM land. BLM land. I'm going to some meetups in January on BLM land. So yeah.
Now I have a question for you guys, and we can start with Fia. Do you guys see a lot of Black people van lifing? Fia, you can.
Well, I would say I don't see as many of us compared to other races, but there are quite a few, especially on YouTube. I mean, there didn't used to be, but there's more and more coming out every day. I said coming out, didn't I? But yeah, and so the only way to know for sure is to get out there and connect with people. So connecting with Frankie Frankie connected me to what, Big Blue and some other people. And then from there, I think me and Frankie have both separately met with Where is Tiffany, which is another YouTuber, African American woman.
Yeah, I just found
And
her.
so they're
She's
out
great.
there. Yeah. And so through her, I met two ladies that, they're just starting brand new, and they're, learning, and we're connecting, and we're meeting up in January for the Tampa RV show. But yeah, I think there's way more out there than we know about. They just haven't publicized. Sorry about that. That's an alarm. They just haven't publicized that they're out there, so to speak. If that makes sense.
Okay. And what about you, Danette? Do you see a lot of Black people when you're van lifing, or?
So kind of like Fia said, I actually linked up with Brace Nomad, and she linked me up with Demetrius, and they're travel nurses. And I know virtually Frankie and some other ladies, but because I am pretty new, I haven't had the opportunity to meet a lot of people. But I also, now I'm a personal assistant for Queen Tasha. She's in the Purple Bus. So yeah, once you get out here and you start talking to people, I mean, we all end up kind of connecting with each other, It's like any other community,
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. Okay, Frankie, what about you? Well, I know, Frankie, you know mad people.
Well, you know what I do. Well, we went to Worthen. It's a Black-owned RV park in Georgia. Thea and Andrea, she was talking about Big Blue. We went there, and it's nothing but I mean, it's diverse, but it's owned by a Black couple, and so you've seen people who live on this RV at this RV park, and you can go there as a camper. But yeah, just from being on YouTube, I know all of y'all from YouTube, right? So we just connect, and when you see people, you meet them on YouTube. You know, that's the beauty of being on YouTube, is that you get to meet a lot of people who have the same interests as you, and you just meet people. That's how I meet them. And so I think it's diverse. I mean, not definitely some black people don't, you know, the van life concept is not something they want to do. Although my parents, you know, back in the day, that's what they had, a bar in the van. You remember those vans with the bars? And, you know, they would go to like Michigan or Chicago. Black people been camping in vans. They just ain't, people don't know about it, but they had those vans that had the beds in them. Remember the old school vans with the bed? And yeah, so, I mean, it's not real diverse, but a lot of us enjoy the outdoors or the freedom to travel. So we are connecting and we are out there. Yeah, we're definitely out there. Not a lot.
Okay.
Like she said, Queen Tasha, we met with Tiffany. There's Antoinette. What's her name? Antoinette Yvonne. She's a pretty big band YouTuber or whatever. Yeah. So.
But while you're out there, you do meet some Black people that you may not intentionally meet, but you will meet Black people while you're out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
So Miss Foxy Brown, when I'm Foxy Brown, I got my Cash App. She was like, "Ray, you need to Cash App." As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do that right now. Let me see if this will work. Oh my God. Let me see if my Cash App will work. She said I need to do a Cash App. I did a banner for it. Let me see if the banner will work. Let's see here. Oh my God, look at that, my banner. So there you go, Foxy. That's for you. Foxy said, question, okay, not to answer, not directed at any of you, but do some ladies exercise, great question, their Second Amendment rights while van living? Either, Fia, do you want to start that? That's a great question. Do you want to start that, Fia?
Sure. I'm working on it. I'll just say that. I'm working on it. And what I mean by I'm working on it is, you know, you can go buy a pellet gun for just hunting, and that doesn't require any extra special licenses or anything. But so that's what I mean by I'm working on it. And of course, you don't have to do a gun, right? You can do knives, and my husband is pretty good at giving me tips on what to use. But yeah, bear spray, I got it all. So don't come for me.
What about you, Danette? What do you use? Do you have a gun? No.
I do not have a gun, but I do plan on getting a license and carrying. I do have a machete, but I do also, number one, plan on taking self-defense classes so that I'm smart, because I do have a back injury. So I need to be able to know how to protect myself, but also make sure that my body stays safe, because it don't make no sense for me to be trying to protect myself and then I break myself at the same time.
Oh, this is a great question, Foxy Brown. Please answer, Frankie. What is your perspective?
You really can't carry. You got to be careful with carrying a gun, like in different states. If you're not, you know, if you don't have a license to take it in every state, you got to be careful. But as Fia said, there are things like bear spray will blow your eyes out. Like it will blow your eyes out. It's for a bear. It will blow. Bear spray. You Google it. It has blown people's eyes out. And of course, you just have your stuff, your weapons that you have. You can't take a gun, so you can't really talk about a gun. But we are ready. You know, we ready. We ready, yeah, and yeah, ready, definitely ready. I keep mace on my keychain. Mace is just a immediate stop. I got a bat, I got a knife, and I'm ready. Let me just say I'm ready.
I love it. Now, Frankie, as we're arguing, you're talking, I have a question for you, and I know, Fia, you can give some insight on this, even though it may not be applicable to you, but you can still give some advice. How do y'all date? How do y'all meet men? What do y'all do? You guys go to a different city and then go online and be like, "Here I am, Tinder."
Look, here I am, Tinder. No, I'm just playing. So we're dating. I was in Detroit, right? I was at the casino. I met somebody. I was at a subscriber's house. She invited me to stay there. So we went to the casino, and I met somebody at the casino, and I told him I live in a van. And so he just was like, so, I mean, he cared. He didn't ever see the van because but I mean, men do not care. Now, men do not care. They don't. I get hit up sometimes on email. Somebody will hit me up or whatever. Sometimes it's just friendship, and sometimes it's like just conversation, you know what I mean? But for the most part, you can get it. It's just, I mean, people don't care. They don't care because I guess the physical part of the relationship, men don't care. Like you can live in a on the roof, they don't care. That's really, really easy. Just like in your real life. Like I'm in Ohio, my home base, and I have friends from the past. I got an ex-husband. You just don't. But right now I'm like concentrating on me. So I'm not just looking for anybody, but I still have numbers in my phone and whatever. But it really doesn't. I'm not looking for nobody. I'm trying to get myself together. And then I get emails from people, and I can only imagine, like, y'all know who Janelle Ileana is, a little young van dweller. She's like, yeah, I know she probably is like, because I get hit up on emails or whatever, but not a lot. But people do email like, hey, if you coming out this way, you know what I'm saying? So you meet people. It's easy to meet people. I'm at a store right now. If I go in the store, I got on pajamas, but when I put on clothes, it's just like any other way. If you're in a restaurant or a library, just the same way, the same way.
How do you have a relationship though, Frankie? How do you have a
I wouldn't have. I don't want. I've been married, so I will never ever be in a relationship again. I've been scarred. So I just need hookups. Now I'm just playing. I wouldn't be in a relationship again. So I wouldn't. So I don't need a relationship.
You're not gonna get a relationship ever again. You're just gonna hit it and quit it, or have dudes, and then that's it.
That's pretty much what I plan to do. Never a relationship, because I'm going to live in my van. I just love my lifestyle. I'm an artist. I'm different. I just want to get it and quit it.
Like, when did you start, Frankie? How are you scarred, if you don't mind me asking? Tell me really.
What do you mean? Like relationships? So I got people that
you scarred with your marriage. How are you scarred?
Just scarred because he's crazy. I mean, it was terrible. It's terrible. I still talk to him. I mean, his mother just passed or whatever. So, I mean, I still say how long?
How long were you married for?
About 20. So about 20. But we were separated long after the marriage still continued to go on. So, yeah. It's like, yeah. I don't want to be married.
I'm not in that space anymore. So
I'm damaged.
I could just be van life and just meeting men as we go.
Yeah, I mean, you can meet people, but again, that ain't really my, I'm trying to do me, right? So I really ain't into. I don't want to meet any. I mean, I like friends, but I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just looking for fun. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you're not dating, honey.
I'm just looking for fun.
Tell me that. How are you dating? What do you do?
Okay, so like Frankie, I'm not really looking for anybody, but I will say this. I recently met somebody kind of by accident. We were all just hanging out on a beach, and he was helping us with our fire, and we just got started talking. First of all, we don't even speak the same language. Google Translator is helping us, and it just happened that we back home, we live just about 20 minutes from each other. We both are from Houston. So I've still been seeing him. But I mean, you meet people the same way that you would anywhere else. You strike up a conversation, and if it moves in a direction, it moves in a direction. I got some really good advice, actually, from Off Grid Herb, who's here today. Because I was like, I'm not finna even entertain this. She was like, stop, hold on. She was like, just let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. If it's just a hookup, then it's just a hookup. If it turns into something, then it turns into something. But just let it happen. She was like, don't close yourself off. Because I just got out of a relationship of like 6 years that was total. No, don't date narcissists. They're bad for your health. They're bad for your whole health. So, but he's a really nice guy. But I mean, just like any other relationship, because I had the same question too. When I got out here, and like I said, I'm pretty new, I'm pretty fresh. It was like, how do you meet people in general? And then it was like, how do you date if you want to date? Well, it's just like anywhere else. Start talking to people, and would
you let a guy come into your van, or would you be intimate in your SUV? Would you be intimate with a guy in your SUV?
Yeah, why not? Would you? I mean, if you would be intimate in your house, if you would invite him to your house, why not invite him to your SUV? That's what Febreze is for afterwards.
Okay, let's jump to Fia. We all know Fia's married, but maybe she has some words of wisdom. Fia.
Well, I'm married. I'm happily married for 30 years, so I don't have any dating advice. But those of you who do have a spouse and you're trying to get them to go on the road with you in any way, shape, or form, be patient. It takes time. Share your research. Um, but yeah, no, I will say, even as van lifer, part timer, van lifer, traveling, you still get hit on, even if you're married. So just be aware that they don't know. Whether they do or not, they don't care. So yeah, just stay aware. And I don't have any dating advice. Just yeah, that's it.
Wow. Just go, and just live life and see how it, just wow. Frankie,
Enjoy it with the one you
somebody
got.
said you gave up on love in the chat. They said you gave up on love. Did you give up
Not
on
gave
love,
up on.
Frankie?
I'm open to love. I'm open to love. I'm just not open to a relationship. I'm open to love. I'm open to love. I mean, I love adventure so much. I love writing so much. Those are my lovers, adventure and writing. But I didn't give up on love, but I gave up on the relationship. So I'm all for, but no, I didn't give up on love. I gave up on a relationship. I just don't think that's possible in this time in my life. But again, you can go anywhere. I'm at a store. I go in the store. If I take off these pajamas, and it's just like how you would be anywhere else. People, you do meet people. I was at the movies by myself, and it was, so I'm just in a relationship with myself right now, right?
Wow. So here's a question for y'all. Preserving your energy, spiritual journeying. Tell me about that and what that is for you. We'll start with you, Danette, in van living. Because I know, Frankie, you talk about this, so we'll get to you, but I want to talk to Danette first. Mm-hmm. Preserving your energy, what does that look like? Meditation, whatever, you could touch on all of it, exercising, yoga, anything. How do you spiritually stay balanced, energetically stay balanced?
So, I like to spend a lot of time by myself. And I kind of recharge when I go for my daily walks. When I am driving from one place to the other, I'll turn off the radio at some point. At some point, I just get that feeling, okay, it's time to turn off the radio. It's time to, listen to the spirits, meditate, and recharge myself. And that's when I find the things that I need to work on, the healing part of this whole journey. That's when I will finally get the answer of what it is I need to be working on right now. But typically I try and work out every day, which I go on my walk, and I took a couple of weeks off, so I'm working back up to running, so that I stay healthy and all of that good stuff. But those things recharge me, and typically I like to do them by myself. I don't know if that's weird that I like to work out by myself, but I really do. I like to work out by myself because it's more meditative for me. I can't just sit in a quiet space and meditate. I got too much going on up here.
Makes sense.
But that's typically how I will do that.
Right. What about you, Thea? How do you keep your energy, your spiritual self right? How do you do it?
Oh wow, that's a long story. 'Cause I grew up in the church, and that's no longer my focus. But right now, it's all about the quiet time. I'm an introvert. I love my quiet time, and the chatter. I use affirmation. We all have chatter up here, right? Positive, negative chatter going on. So affirmations. One of my favorite is, I'll say to myself, I love the fact that I see good things happening to me, happening for me, happening inside of me and all around me. So I'll pick an affirmation for the day and I'll just repeat that throughout the day. But yeah, quiet time, and then finding something fun like riding a motorcycle to take my mind off things. Stress is a killer, and I've experienced that with family members, and I don't want to be that. So managing your stress, deep breathing, meditation, affirmations, all that good stuff is the way to go for me.
Okay, that makes sense. Frankie, tell me, because I know you're really into energetic
I'm
work.
definitely into energy. Energy is everything on this journey. People can mix up. Like you asked about my ex-husband, and I hope he's not watching, but he had that toxic energy, like really that toxic energy, and it was just he just did. And so for me, like I just came out with a Joy Route journal, and in that journal, I have 100. They're not really affirmations, but they're writing prompts, things I live by, like not allowing people who destroy your space into your space, and just the different things like I'll take care of me for me, you take care of you for you. So it's a lot of self-care stuff. So I just, like I said, I just came out with the journal. Also in my van, I got all types of candles and sage sticks and all kinds of stuff. So I fill my atmosphere with good energy. I worship in my van, not a church type of worshiping because I don't go to church, but I just worship and do self-care stuff in my van. I have on pajamas just because I'm in my van and it makes me feel like in a good, warm and fuzzy way. I generally don't sleep in pajamas. I sleep in like jogging pants or a t-shirt because you have to be ready to for anything, but just self-care stuff. I have a warm beverage, and just I have a diffuser or infuser. And just for me, sense in my atmosphere that, and I think words are so powerful. So when people are in your space and um, you have to make sure the right people are in your space. You also have to make sure you're in the right state of mind. You know what I mean? Like if your energy or your mood is off, you can bring that to somebody else. And so it's also important for me in this van, I'm just able to center myself. And I think energy is everything. I be telling you, Ray, your energy is off the charts. Like you have energy, good energy. Yeah, it comes across very, very good energy. Y'all too. Y'all know we vibed. We met in a group, right? And so some of us broke off, but some of us we didn't break off, but we all just connected. And it has to be the energy. The energy has to be right? Because I don't even fool with people if their energy's not right. And I never want to be that kind of person where I'm bringing negative energy to the situation. And sometimes, things happen in your life and you don't have the best energy. I go by the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I want to be kind, 20% of the time you can get it. But 80% of the time, I don't ever want to be unkind to people. Like I was raised by my grandparents and I just want to love everybody. But again, I am human. So 80-20, 80%, I'm going to love you. 20%, you can get it. So that's just kind of how
now somebody in this, Tiffany in the chat asked, she said that you were working on yourself. What's your end goal?
So my end goal, just to always, like I'm 80-20 right now, just to always be in a good, good state of mind, be in the best physical shape. We went through COVID. I walk every day, but I talk about eating fruits and healthy stuff, but I also eat, crap or whatever. So it's getting myself in the best physical shape that I can be in. The mental state, if your mental state is not right, and I don't mean like mental, I'm just saying like if things are in your atmosphere, whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, whether for the people who have jobs or churches or whatever, whatever's in your space, you have to make sure when you're working on yourself. For me, it's an individual thing, and it's writing, it's journaling, it's thinking things out. Before I go to bed at night, I ask myself, what type of day do I want to have that very next day? And then I write down, this is not every day, but I write down, what type of day do I want to have? Who that I know that I need to erase from my life? Like if it's a family member, and not erase them and mean like don't love them, because you absolutely love them, but who cannot occupy your space? This is my theater. This is my home. Who cannot come into my space and kill my energy? And like I said, I don't act like I'm just perfect and I don't have like whatever I do, but for me, it's just like being in my space, making my space how I want it, surrounding it with whatever I want to drink, however I want my van to smell. I decorate my van. It looks like crap right now, but every season I decorate because this is my home and I like candles and everything like that. I change the blankets and linen. I love like laying on a clean bed and just doing things for myself, so.
Okay.
That's kind of how.
Now, when we're talking about energy work, someone in the chat asked, it was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys deal with loneliness? Are you ever lonely? What's the difference between being alone and lonely? Because I know the difference. But people will be like, are you lonely? Anyone who wants to answer? Do you want to start with that, Fia? Let me let Fia go ahead and start with that. Go ahead, Fia.
Sure. I think we all get lonely. I'm in a relationship, and there are times when I feel lonely and I need to communicate that. Um, if, if I want to spend time with my husband, he's not around, I need to reach out and talk to him, whatever. But there are times when you just need to be by yourself too, right? Um, those moments when I think I took, when did I take my solo trip? I was by myself and it was like, oh, nobody's around to talk to. But then I remembered somebody said something to me a while, long time ago. The most powerful conversation you will ever have in life is with yourself. So if you can't sit in quiet by yourself and be at peace with yourself, um, that that's an opportunity for growth. So yeah, it's something that we all want to be around people. We all want to talk, but at a certain point, you have to just say, you know what, it's time for me to go inward and make sure I'm good with me. Can I go in a restaurant and order for myself and just enjoy that? I don't always have to have my husband there. I don't always have to have a relative there with me. But yeah, so I would say we all get lonely. Um, but be your best friend and then branch out from there.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Danette? How do you deal with loneliness, being alone? What do you have to say about that?
So, first of all, I love to be alone. That's number 1 through 10. I can be alone for days, weeks at a time. I don't know if that's healthy, but I can be. But when I'm ready to have community, I know I can get on this phone and be like, hey, where you at? I'm still in New Orleans. Talk to my friend over here. Okay, I'm gonna be over there in New Orleans and we're gonna hang out for a few days. Okay. If I decided, hey, I want to call a friend of mine and go to Georgia, I know she's over there in Georgia. I'm gonna come up there for a few days. So when I'm ready for community, it is here. But I am someone who likes to be alone. As far as lonely, um, I think being in the relationship that I was in allowed me to be more lonely than anything. And when I started moving away from that and learning who I was and started loving myself again and being my best friend, like Faya said, I feel a lot less lonely now. But alone, I can do that all day.
Okay. Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. What about you, Frankie? Tell me how you deal with being alone, loneliness, the difference.
Well, like Jeanette, and Fia, I am a total introvert. People think because I talk so much that I'm an extrovert. I am not an extrovert. I'm an introvert. So introverts, we have to go away to refuel. So introvert does not mean you're shy. I'm definitely not shy. I'm Fia. When I'm with Fia, she's like, "Come on," because I'm talking to anybody. It'd be a rock, and she's like, "Could you come on?" I am definitely I have extrovert tendencies. I love meeting people, talking to people. But for me, just like even being in nature, I do not miss one person. Like when I'm by water and being in nature, it's like I don't even notice it. It's weird because recently when I was at that motel, I felt loneliness. It was like the walls were dark and it was just like everything just felt closed in and I felt lonely. But when I'm outdoors or even in this van, because living in a van, it's a mobile lifestyle, right? So you always got to be like, how I'm gonna eat, where I'm gonna park, what I'm gonna do, who I'm gonna see. So you always is in a mix. What park I'm gonna go to, where I'm about to camp, and it's just so much excitement going on that I just don't ever feel lonely. I just don't. And when I'm out, I'm just out and about, like where I'm going next. And every place is a new adventure. I
Well,
go.
how do you know how do you know how do you know, sorry to cut you off, but how do you know where you're going next? Do you have an itinerary? Do you decide? Or you just
Only time I had an itinerary is when I'm with people. Like when I was with Thea, like we have an itinerary. Me, I don't. I don't. Like I'm going out west, right? And I have a friend, a really good friend, and I'm going to stay in her driveway. Then I got another person I'm going to see, but and well, two people, and I just go where the wind blows. Like I don't know. I know I'm going out west, and I just met somebody. He's in Las Vegas, and I'm just about to just go where the wind blows. When I get up in the morning, I do not know. Y'all know Stephanie, she's in Washington, the person, Stephanie Perry, right? And I started to drive to Washington. I was thinking about it, like I may do that 8 hours. Like they go into a restaurant before she leaves the country. And I'm like, I could do that. Like I could do that drive, and I ain't even ruled it out. Like on some real, like I haven't even ruled it out. Like, should I do that drive? I mean, Christmas is coming up, and I'm like, but I could do it in 8 hours, 4 and 4. So I don't rule it out. I hear it. My friend Tina, her Tina the Outsider, she told me about in the Schoolie event, right? And she told me that week, like, I'm at Schoolie. And I'm like, where are you at? She's like, I'm in UP. And I'm like, what's UP? She's like, Upper Peninsula. It's in Michigan. And I was like, I called up, or Andrea hit me up, another friend of me and Fia's. And I was like, I'm going to go. And we went. And it was like 13 hours to get there for me. And I went there and I didn't come back for 13 days. Like I stayed on this campground. And Upper Peninsula is like one of the most beautiful places in America. Real talk. The weather is perfect. The sky is blue. The beach is wonderful. Everything about that town is just the outdoor spirit of Upper Peninsula. People slip on Upper Peninsula. We think about Michigan and we think about, you know, Detroit or whatever, but Upper Peninsula is amazing. The best weather I've ever experienced. Like it's the Mackawall Bridge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll have Fia answer this as you bring up something that's really brilliant. So I guess this brings us back full circle to the main question, which is, can we really be free? Can we really have freedom via van life, via travel life? I'll let you go ahead, Fia.
The answer for me is yes. Yeah, because here's the deal. Inside of me, I'm free, right? Up here, I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
So I project into my reality freedom. Now, can other circumstances and entities try to mess with that freedom? Yeah, they can. They can say stuff, they can do stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm responsible for how I think and what I project and what I manifest. And I'm not trying to sound spooky or anything. I've learned my own through my own journey. You can have whatever you want. But it's yeah. So freedom is in here and in my heart. So my answer is yes. It's not always easy. It's gonna cost you, not just money, right? It might not always be money. It's but freedom is open to everybody. So I'm gonna leave it there.
And what about you, Dan?
Hopefully that makes sense.
Feel free? Do you feel like you're really experiencing freedom through van life and travel?
Yes, I really do. Honestly, and first of all, Fia, spooky is not a bad thing. I love the spooky stuff. But yes, I feel absolutely free. I feel more free right now than I have in a very, very long time. And I think that's because I'm living on my own terms instead of doing what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. I can create the life that I want. If I like I said, I have a plan. When I'm tired of driving, then I get a boat. But if I don't want to do that, I can go back and I can get a house if I want to. You know what I'm saying? I can create that. I don't have to live within the constraints of what I'm supposed to be doing any longer. And this has given me the mindset that I need to know that I can actually make choices that are outside of what should be done. So I think freedom is something you can absolutely have. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And Frankie, tell me.
You're so
Are
free.
you free, Black woman? Are you free?
I'm free in an MF. Yes, I'm absolutely free. I am free. Yes. I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my home. I'm in pajamas and I'm sitting here and I can go anywhere I want to get on the road and I can go. And also just nature and open air and breath. It just makes me feel free. So yeah, I'm very, very free. I love working online because and creating products. That I love that it allows me to create. Being in a van, like when I was in Sticks and Bricks, it's just that I don't create as much as I do when I'm out. And then just nature and water and just sitting by the water. I just love it. I love fresh walks. I love fresh air. In the fall, I love stepping on leaves where it's crunchy. In the summer, I love blue skies. I love sunrises and sunsets. I go to the casino and this casino that I go to has the most beautiful sunrise. When I get up in the morning and I see the horses and the what do you call them people that ride, the jockeys riding the horses, and I'm like, good morning, and they're like, good morning, and and then the sunrise. When you're in a van, I'm telling you, you see sunrises and sunsets differently. People don't believe it, but you do. It's like you have a front row seat. I see stars. I go to places and I'm like, the sky is so freaking blue, and the stars are twinkling, like stars twinkle. It sounds crazy, but I feel so free. I'm not saying that van life, you don't have issues and things like that. You absolutely do. But it's just a different vibe from, and sometimes I just laugh like I'm living in a van. I just crack up. I just think about it and go, but I feel so free to travel these wheels. It's like somebody pull up by me, I'm pulling off. Anything I don't want to do, I don't have to go. Also, not being in my home base of Ohio, like I meet a lot of people and I have a lot of people are always, I did a lot of stuff in the community. And so people are always like, hey, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And I'm always like, I'm not in your part of Ohio. So it's like, I don't feel like I have to do anything that I don't want to do. Like if you want to say no, but you feel an obligation because you love the community or you love people or people are inviting you to church and you keep telling them no, but after a while, you just like, I'm not there. I'm not even there. And sometimes it's some things you just don't want to do. And so you have that freedom. And always my thing is I'm not there. You know what I mean? So, but the sun rises.
Something that Danette just asked, and that was, do you feel guilty not being available to your loved ones? I think that ties it too, because of living the nomad lifestyle. Do you ever feel guilty because you are so free not being available to your sons?
Me? Or Frankie? No, because like for one, my youngest son, I talked to him and they are beloved. Like my sons, I'm telling you, the name I put in front of there, they beloved. I love my sons more than I love Air, and I talk to them all. I don't want to talk to him. No. Now my mom is very, very sick. And I am not my mom's caregiver. And there's just some things that even getting on the road, thinking about leaving my mom, if I leave and then I'm so far away and, something happens. But I've given my mom has given me in my second half of my life. My grandparents raised me, but my mom came in the second part of my life and helped me with the boys and manage my marriage. And I love that woman, love her unconditionally. But like I'm not her caregiver. And even though she doesn't want me in a van, she cried, the thought of me living in a van. She said no proper woman would live in a van. But for me, with my mom, there are some things that I do feel guilty about. There are some stuff I do feel guilty about. But the rest of my family, no, I do not. I love them unconditionally. I miss this year family gatherings and things like that, but I'm living my life. I've given y'all everything. Like my son, I've just done all I could to raise them, to do everything I could. They love life, so no. And if I had grandkids, I wish I did have grandkids. Then I probably put the people with her. Who?
Oh, you just cut off for a second, but you're back. Keep going. That's good.
Oh, yeah. The rest of the cousins and stuff, I love my cousins. I love my family, but I see you when I see you. And I mean, that may sound like, but I spend time with them, so much time. Like when I'm here, I'm like, bye. No, I don't. And then they don't like the outdoors. They think some of them, I love the outdoors and I just love to roll. And they just, I have to get up. I don't even know what day it is. I do not know what it's really. I know it's a weekend, but I don't know. No, I don't have no alarm clock. I don't want to talk to people that got alarm clocks. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. Now, what about you, then? Do you feel guilty because you're not without your son? And I know you said that was a transition for him. Do you feel guilty not being available for your son? Wait, hold on. You muted yourself, baby. You got to unmute.
Okay. I would love to have my son out here. He's 22, he's just getting started. And honestly, I tell him all the time, listen, don't get bogged down in the things that you're supposed to do. Yes, you need to work. I need you to find a good job, but that does not have to be at a place. It can be remotely. Get in your little car and go away for the weekends at least. Don't get bogged down here. If you don't want to be in Houston anymore, don't stay here. What I don't want for him is to feel like he's stuck there like I was. I made a choice to stay in Houston because I wanted to raise my son at the time with my family, but I never really wanted to be there was my problem. Now, feeling guilty, I don't feel a whole lot of guilt. I can actually, with this lifestyle, I'm actually able to go see my family more because the majority of my extended family live in Alabama and Florida. Now, however, I do still also have my mother who battles with MS, and she is going to need a caretaker. So at some point, there is a possibility that that will take me off the road for a little while. But me and my sister, we're trying to figure out a way around that as we speak right now. So, I mean, my guilt is, I don't think it's necessarily guilt, but kind of one of the stressors that I deal with, mostly for my mother, because I know she's going to need somebody to take care of her. But I also know that I need this for myself. So there's a little bit of guilt, and there's stress and guilt mixed in there together.
Okay. Fia, you didn't answer this. Have you answered this, Fia?
No, I haven't answered, but yes, I have felt guilt. Not with my kids, because I feel like I put my time in terms of raising my kids. They're grown. I sent you to college. Whatever you do after that, I'm available. I love you, but no, I'm not guilty. I mean, I don't feel guilty. But I did lose my sister this year on Valentine's Day, and we were supposed to go on a road trip. And the fact that I didn't push harder to be available to her makes me feel some sort of way. But I have, wow, yeah, I've worked through that. The last, how long has it been? Almost 9 months since she's been gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been doing my work, my internal work, to make sure that I live my best life and remember her in the most positive way I can, because she was only 54 and she didn't get a chance to do this.
Okay.
So yeah, and so yeah, it's a healing journey, and thanks to Frankie for being there for me as well. But do it, y'all.
Okay.
I don't, back to your question, I don't feel guilty now in terms of the family I have now, but for her, that was my only blood sister.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so I went through some things with that, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Okay. I'm sorry for your loss, honey. That's 54. Wow. That's
Yeah.
really young. Yeah. So we're gonna close up, and I just have, anything you guys want to add, anything I missed. I went through all my questions and the questions in the chat. Anything you want to
I would like to add, I would like to add, Ray, thank you. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for doing this, girl.
Yes.
No, seriously, this was your genius idea, and I love it. So thank you for doing this, because I'm sure it's going to inspire some ladies to get out there. Black women, get out there and live your best life. Don't let anybody stop you from doing it. And Ray, so thank you. Thank you.
I just
Thank you.
shared a live. I forgot all about that. Yeah, I want to say thank you to Ray as well. You are inspiration. Like, just seeing you over in Paris doing your thing, I'm like, hell, I might have to get out this van and go holler at you. It's just, I just want to go. But so you are definitely an inspiration. You put this together very well. I don't usually like to be on live stream because I can't sit still. I can't do right. I can't color in the lines, but you did a fantastic job, and I echo what Fia said. Get out there and experience whatever your freedom is. Everybody may not want to live in a van, and that's okay, but that's what I want to do right now, and that brings me freedom. But whatever your joy route is, take your joy route. So that's what I encourage people to do. Live your best life. My joy route is not going to be your joy route. So take your joy route, whatever that means, whatever it is, do it today. Don't wait, like Fia said, till you lose someone close to you, or you that person that you are lost. You get lost. Something happens to you and you never took your joy route. And right now, I'm taking my joy route. So take yours. Live your best life. Live your best life. That's all it means. Live your best life.
I love that, the joy route.
Yes, Miss Ray, I appreciate you so much for this. This has been absolutely, I loved everything from the prep of it and talking with you ladies all the time, to being here today. But yes, this is something I think, even if it's for a short time, that people should should go ahead and do if it's something that you're thinking about. No matter how you want to experience your freedom, go do it. It may be van life, it may be boat life, it may be RV life, it may be expat, but go do it. Even if it's for a limited time, don't limit yourself. I think the problem that we have is we are limiting ourselves too much. Go out there and be free.
Real quick, Ray, I just shared this, so tell people about you, because a couple of more people jumped on. So tell us about you, Ray. Give us your background.
I know, right?
Oh,
Living it up in Paris.
I know,
I'm an expat here in Paris, and I'm actually going to become an expat because I'm going to be doing some bopping around, as Stephanie says. I'm going to move around, like staying, European country every 3 months because I have a professional artist liberal European visa, as I'm a singer, dancer, actress, and I have my visa here doing that. And I'm going to then bop around to Portugal, Greece, Turkey. And as you guys see, my channel is all about connecting with not just native artists in each state, but connecting with expats or connecting with van lifers, connecting with people who, as you say brilliantly, Frankie, are coloring outside of the lines, who are creating their own voice. They're finding their own voice. They're finding their space of joy and happiness. They're finding their space of freedom and liberty, right? The pursuit of liberty and happiness. So I want to talk to van lifers, boat lifers, like anyone who's doing what you guys are doing. You guys inspire me. I would never van life, but the way you just up and go, that's why I'm up in Paris. And I'm gonna bop around. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna airplane life.
Bop around.
You ladies inspire me, especially you come from marriages and y'all are mothers.
We doing it.
That's serious. So you are my inspiration, and I have to say thank you for coming onto my channel and for doing this with me and for being patient with me. This is my first live panel. I had no idea what I was doing.
You did that thing, girl.
We are here. So thank you. And even when we're going to get off this live, I'm going to email you guys another link just so that we can do like a recap, like a 5-minute recap, because I just think it's something.
I know I be talking, but Ray, we should do another one like in a month or two. Check on us in a month or two. Let's jump on this thing in about a month or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
See where we at with our vision boards or whatever y'all doing. Let's check in.
If you ladies are down with that, then I will plan this for a month from now, y'all, in January.
You so organized too, like y'all. You so professional, organized.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I want to
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Well, I love you all so much. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Guys, ladies, gents, we're gonna leave. I'm gonna send you guys an email right now with another link. Just hop back on and then we'll everybody else. We love you. Thank you. And we are going to close it out with my little outro.